Good morning, everybody. This isn't my usual morning live stream. That's going to come in about 2.5 hours. So if you get a notification and you think, oh my goodness, he's starting early, no, I'm not. This is not my regularly scheduled morning live stream. Just so you know. What this is the first mission from Warzone 2100. Now, I should state that my experience of this game was once extensive. It is somewhat fragmentary over 20 years later, but I've got a bit of replay experience, which is awakening old memories. So while this isn't necessarily going to be the definitive and optimum walkthrough, it's going to give you some ideas, at least for the next mission. Good morning, Little Nugget. No, this isn't necessarily me being early, it's me being bored. The regularly scheduled live stream of The Long Dark will occur in about 2.5 hours. I just felt like, I had time, I had nothing to do. I'll do a quick 45-minute live stream of Warzone 2100. So that's all this is. It's just me being bored. Right. So let's be about it. Oh, it's not been too bad. So we'll start off with a new campaign. You can see it's the alpha campaign. I'm just going to leave everything at default. And now you get to sit back to watch 1990s era video.
Alpha, you are cleared for takeoff. Check. Good luck and good.
So no, I'll be doing the Long Dark later. Kind of excited because I made my way across the map to a nice little home that I'm hoping has a lot of potential. It's already been very worthwhile to make the trip, to be honest.
Approaching landing zone. Team Alpha.
Somewhat adventurous. I can't remember if you saw the whole thing.
Commander, you lead Team Alpha, one of 3 expeditionary teams
Oh,
sent
hell.
out by the project
Oh, I'm
to
so
recover
sorry, mate.
artifacts from before the collapse.
That
Your
truly
destination
sucks.
lies in the western zone. Commander, you are to establish a base in this sector. Once the base is established,
Oh,
begin
Lord.
your search for a pre-collapse structure located in this sector.
That is way too
This
young.
building is believed to contain advanced neural synapse technology that is vital to the success of the project. Power resource.
Right, so here we go. I find it advisable to move these off to the screen here to act as a defense force.
Incoming
And-
intelligence report. Mission timer activated. Briefing commences. Scavenger raiders are approaching our base.
Which is
Defend
why
the base,
I've
then
moved those
destroy the
for...
scavenger camps.
They're not tanks yet. Although I suppose they're roughly equivalent to Panzer ones.
Under attack.
Oh, for heaven's sake, that is very unpleasant, mate. So, first thing we need to do is build the headquarters building, of which you can only have one. Sorry, the command center. I typically stick it here. I'm actually not sure if that's the best position. But that's typically where I put it. This, by the way, is the point where your units will retreat to when they're damaged, or either recycle or repair. Little Nugget, this is a old-timey real-time strategy game that dates back, I think, to 1997. It's got a moderately interesting history. It originally, I think, came out on PSX, and I think PC at more or less the same time. I know I did play it on PSX or PlayStation 1.
Construction completed.
What am I doing? I need to build pretty much everything. Now this is stuff I know in advance. So we're going to need factories. In fact, I recommend 2 of them at this point. I tend to move, this is the mustering point, I tend to move that quite far forwards. And this is where your constructed entities will show up. Don't worry, I know it says we have an hour, but oh.
Construction completed.
Don't tell me, I'm still about to start episode 3. You're also going to need a research facility. In fact, 2 of them is recommended at this point. Later on, you will probably want to build more, and I have already forgotten the one thing that I need to do, which is I need a power station. But that's okay, we're getting the buildings underway.
Construction completed.
You have enough power when you start to do this, so we will build that. And honestly, I put that kind of in the wrong place, but I will stick it over here. And the reason I'm sticking them over here is because in the next mission you will be attacked from up here. So having some defense in place is useful. In fact, you could argue that this would do better over there, but I like to have the space. Actually, having said that, I may well now move that. Told you this wasn't an optimum walkthrough. I think I'm going to move this up here. So we can just tell it to come over here, deconstruct this. Oh my goodness. I've never played Zelda. And as you'll see, we do regain some of the energy required. I think I'll stick this up here, which I don't have room to do. Alright. This is now me getting this completely wrong. But like I say, we have time. You can whip through this in much less than an hour. And I mean whip through and have everything ready for the next mission. So, yeah, let's put our factories back in again. Yeah, that'll do. Leaving some area clear down here is not a bad idea. A couple of missions from now, you'll need to embark your units onto an aircraft, which will land here. So, yeah, this isn't too bad. I don't have a favorite game, Little Nugget. At the moment, I really don't know. There's a difference between favorite game and favorite game for streaming. My favorite game for streaming is The Long Dark. Right, okay. Now that I've more or less got that shuffled, let's go and shoot some things. So there's our basic stuff at the moment. I don't think we can build anything else that's useful. So let's go and build a few. Oh, whoops! First of all, I need to design my. What do they call it? Viper wheels machine gun. No, machine gun Viper wheels. There we go. And I typically generate a baseline of 12 at this point. Oh, that's not fair. I'm not that good at it. Talk to Bubba or Anna. They've got thousands of hours in, where I've literally got a couple of hundred.
Production
Is the desktop audio okay? I just realized that because I've been messing around with OBS, my desktop audio settings might have changed. The other thing we're going to need coming up fairly soon is we're going to need a few more trucks, because we're going to build in here. We're going to build way off over in that direction, and so 2 or 3 more trucks is not a bad idea. So I will build 4 more of these. At least one of those trucks is going to be permanently trapped, at least the way I do it.
Production completed. Production completed.
Oh, and I forgot to move this. Let's move our mustering points closer over here.
Production completed. Production completed.
Again, this is the kind of thing you only ever get from experience and replays, and I actually don't mind doing the replays. Well, I keep away from people most of the time, so the likelihood of my getting into trouble is relatively slim. You will find that they're...
Production completed. Production completed.
Pathfinding is not fantastic. Right, you, come over here. So that should be 12 units. So, how do I like to set up my units? Got various options. Shoot at long range. Where do you want them to do? When you want them to retreat, and when they should open fire. And I typically go with optimum range, retreat at medium damage, and fire at will. When I first started playing this, I was pretty obsessive about not actually losing any units, and you can do that. Nope, the only problem with the graphics card was getting it set up initially. So I'll just make sure I got my settings, optimum, medium, fire at will. I think there are circumstances where that's not necessarily a good idea. But, yeah, you know. Right, let's be about it. One thing I will do is clear away the buildings, because I like to have nice fields of fire. Now, while at this point all your enemies are in this direction up here, in the next mission, you will get stuff actually coming down in this direction. So it's a good idea to sort of be prepared for that.
Under attack.
This is what I mean by doing construction in advance. And you can see this has received sufficient damage. It's going to head back. And in fact, I'm going to tell it to head for recycling. And you'll see it's got some little icons there. Those icons are useful, gives you an idea of the experience of it, and that experience is recycled. Which is why you want your units to retreat, so that you can save them and maintain a sort of continuum of...
Production completed.
Yeah, and you can see he is probably my most experienced unit. It is. Oh no, I'm sorry about that. You are not having a very good day. So, first enemy is in here. And we'll clear that out of the way. You have to sort of bear in mind that the pathfinding can be awkward. I am not hugely experienced. So we'll just take this little base out. And this is a bit of a problem, because you can see it's trying to retreat, and the others aren't letting it, but that's alright. You'll find oil barrels around, go pick them up. He picked up the artifact. The picking up of the artifacts can be most of the time it's not a problem, but there are occasions where you pick up that last artifact and the level ends, so sometimes you want to delay that as long as possible. Again, you have to bear in mind that your enemies are going to be coming from this direction, so we'll point them there. And now we have our first items to research, and you can see why I have two of them. It gets it over with and done with. And we want to build over here, so we will grab one of our trucks, send that up there. You need to go to the hospital, little nugget? Yeah, and you're going to get raids on and off from this direction. Let's go back and sort out this. And so we will recycle him. And build one to replace him. Later on, you...
completed. Construction completed.
And now we have 2 derricks in operation. Yep. That's derricks, as in nodding donkeys, not derricks, as in the name of the person. And make sure that we don't have anything else to research. As far as I understand, the research applies to existing technology if you've already got it in the field. So I think one of the things we just got was improved machine gun bullets, so all of these I think should have improved machine gun bullets. Yeah, and this one's heading back. You can just make them fight to the death, obviously. I do tend to make sure that these, because this is newly constructed, it's now part of the group, I have to reset everything, and that's the easiest way to do it. Something just went blink at me for reasons I do not understand, and hopefully it's not important. Right, moving on. We have 3 more bases to take out. The first one's up here. I think the tagline for this used to be sort of build to success or build to victory. That is literally true. Well, I could probably be more sophisticated about how I'm doing this, but for example, if I move them over here first, that's their little factory. Probably should take that earlier, but I wanted to get rid of them. Let's go grab this. We are now relatively safe. So of course the next thing we got to do is get a derrick built on this, or a nodding donkey. And future attacks will come from this direction over here, so we'll position them. Go back down here, start our...
Unit under
The flamers are very useful. That's a repair unit. Repair units are really, really useful.
Unit under attack.
So what we will do is recycle all these. Build 4 more. Again, we have loads of time. This is not a mission you need to rush. So now we have a bit of time to wait. We can have a look and see what the game looks like from different angles. And for a game which was made in 1997, it looks fairly good. After, oh grief, I think it was around about
Major
2004,
research completed.
a group of enthusiasts persuaded Pumpkin Studios, who I think were the original developer, to release the source code. And in fact, it's been slowly and steadily worked on until
Major
late
research
last year.
completed.
So there was and is a fairly dedicated following for this thing. Did I start building? I did not.
Major
That is
research
foolish of me.
completed.
So we'll replace the two we have. We're going to... You can see why it's important to have two of these. You could do 3 or 4. 2 seems to work at this point. We now have to go and design our next unit. And we're going to want a flamer. Flamers, quite handy for taking out things like bunkers. And we're going to need a repair turret. These are really useful. I mean, they are really, really, really useful, as we shall see. So in fact, I am going to build
Production completed.
a couple of those.
Major research completed.
Not going to worry too much about flamers just yet. What I'll do is, as the units come back in, I will recycle and replace them with flamer units. I like to have a mix.
Production completed.
Those towers, you are going to need a bunch of those at some point. And so we will do the usual for these. Long range, treated
Major
medium,
research
nope.
completed.
Optimum range,
Major
fire.
research
Well,
completed.
send those back off up here. Because yeah, you're going to basically... This is actually not a bad way to get them some experience. You're going to get fairly regular attacks in this region. And I forgot to build another derrick. But again, we'll stick our nodding donkey here. And
Production
that
completed.
should be retreating.
Production completed.
Actually, I might use that as a demonstration. Because what we're going to do is grab one of these. Yeah, and you can see they're actively repairing them. So we're going to stick this one over here. It's going to act like our repair unit there. And we'll send this one back up to the main body to sort them out. Check on the status of my research. All research is done. And we have 40 minutes left. You could just rush through and take the next
Production
couple of
completed.
bases, but as I said,
Construction
you're going to need some building
Production completed.
to do. And you will need more power for that. So
Unit under attack.
I'm going to send this one over here. It's going to
Unit
support
under
that
attack.
truck, because eventually I'm going to build up a barrier in here, and so this is going to be isolated. That one's here. These are all repaired, so you can see the advantage of having a repair unit at Command HQ. Stick this here. These also repair themselves, which is handy. And I think that was a tweak that was added in and wasn't necessarily in the original game. These do not, as far as I know, get extra experience, nor do the trucks, so these can be regarded as expendable units. These less so. You do want to have them. You do want to build on their experience. They're on their way. And yeah, all here is a little bit haphazard. It doesn't really matter. I know I said I was going to replace them with flamer units, wasn't I? I'll do that later. So, what we can do now, for entertainment's sake, is
Unit under attack.
try and sort out what's going on up here. There, you can see this one is frantically repairing itself.
Unit under attack.
It always irritates me that you do have situations. You see, these are out of range, so they're not attacking.
Unit under attack.
I could probably have sorted that out.
Unit
Right, make
under
sure they've all got the same settings. Let's go and shoot up some things.
Unit under attack.
This is actually a sort of cheap way to get XP for these things. But let's go and do something a little bit more entertaining. Here's our next target. The next one is down here. You don't want to take that out until later in the game, really. So it's not like we don't have time. And if need be, we can always retreat. If we feel this is proving a bit obstreperous. This currently suits our purpose. We'll recycle them, get flamers in. Shoot up the factory. And you'll see it didn't have to get too close to actually get the benefit there. And this one is having its own little private fight in that corner. So what we can do is just retreat. It's no big deal. And I'll try and stop that from retreating, and it should start fixing itself, I hope. Yep, there we go, fixing itself. Go run through our improved technology. And now we can consider doing a little bit of proactive building, because as I say in later missions, you're going to get attacked at this base, so having a lot of stuff around to shoot up the invading enemies is always a good idea. I think you actually get a landing in this area, which means they've got to come all the way out and through here, so some kind of defensive structures in this region, always a good idea. Which means this will be exposed, which means some kind of defensive structure here is a good idea. So in fact, that's what we are going to do.
Unit under attack.
And I can't remember which of these has the better range.
Unit under attack.
Now, how you set this up is entirely up to you.
Unit under attack.
But these can stay here quite happily. So this we need to block off as well, because if you get an attack in this region, they're going to come up around here, around down here, and across here. It's possible. You might get to stop them. But we want to assume that at some point
Major
we're going to have
research
trouble.
completed.
So the first thing we're going to do is block this off with tank traps. The other area, and this will occur in the next mission, will occur where you get attacked from this direction. So putting defenses up here is not a bad idea.
Unit under attack.
And you will upgrade them. By the way, this is just very
Unit
preliminary.
under
This is
attack.
what I meant when I said in the description it gives you a construction template.
Construction
Yeah.
completed.
Oh, this is what I
Unit
need to
under
do.
attack.
So what we'll now do here is stick a few. We'll stick a flamer here. And one at the end there. Oops. Let's do that again because I got it wrong. Because I can get it. I think it's control there and here, and it will then go ahead and build those two. Again, we got loads of time. So we will now build in a few bits and pieces around here.
Construction completed.
I didn't want that there.
Unit under attack.
This is the bit where you get to fiddle to your heart's content. There. Take that down.
Construction completed. Unit
Yeah,
under
I want that
attack.
one block over.
Construction completed.
Sorry, one. At least one. Yeah. You do spend some time. Hang on. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, you should do it. So we want one there. Hang on. 1, 2. And we're going to set up a little box, which will be reinforced and give this thing room to move around. That also needs a repair unit of its own.
Construction completed.
So we will grab... Do I have another repair unit? Yep. We will grab that.
Unit under attack.
Send this up here. Eventually we're going to have,
Unit
but not
under
during this
attack.
mission, pretty much solid walls around that.
Unit
These are now
under
quite
attack.
happily getting experience. So it's time to introduce our flamers. And you can see this has repaired all these.
Unit under attack.
So we will recycle them.
Unit under
I
attack.
hope the drivers don't mind being
Unit
recycled.
under attack.
So let's grab a couple of flamers. Yep,
Unit under attack.
here we go. That should give us a somewhat balanced armament. When I say balanced, do you know what the funny thing is? I don't remember anything to do with the ranges and damages caused. I just like doing mixed armament. I think the machine guns in principle can have
Unit
longer
under
range.
attack.
So,
Unit
you know,
under attack.
if there's any
Production
vague
completed.
similarity
Production
to
completed. Unit under attack.
reality, you definitely want
Unit under attack.
something, a mixture, so you can visit long range and short range. And this is nicely built up. So what we'll do is we'll start putting in our tank traps. These are going to be replaced.
Construction completed. Production completed. Production completed. Construction completed.
You can move things around by giving them set points like this. And it'll move first to here, then to there. Or at least if I get it right, it will.
Construction
And again,
completed.
you know, we've been doing this for half an hour. Trust me, we have loads of time. Alright,
Unit under attack. Construction completed.
let's grab one of our trucks. It's going to go over
Unit
here.
Under attack. Production completed.
I do like to pair the trucks up with repair units wherever
Unit
possible.
under attack.
Because as I say, these are going to end up pretty isolated.
Construction completed.
Where are my flamers? Oh. Wonder what I've done with those. Optimum. Retreat at medium. Fire at will. Send them back up here. And yeah, you don't necessarily need to do the layout I'm doing. There's a lot of aesthetic pleasing to some of these constructions.
Unit under attack.
Do you like the look of it? Right. I probably ought to stick something in there.
Unit under attack.
One thing you will find is that as these get attacked, the truck will want to come and repair them.
Construction completed. Unit under attack.
Later, this is going to be a solid wall. Later, we're going to have things like mortars and radar units and all the rest of it. Building this is probably completely unnecessary, but, you know, why not? This would be quicker with a couple of trucks, but yeah, later on what we'll do is
Construction completed. Construction
oh,
completed.
I forgot. There is in fact a barrel up here. And again, it's the kind of thing you only know about if you've played it, so we'll go grab that.
Unit under attack. Unit under attack. Unit under attack.
There we go. Yeah, and you can see the flamer is pretty effective. It's rather good. So we'll stick another flamer in here. And start building up in this region. You can come here. And we're going to do some more building off in this area too. Because like I say, in the next mission, you are going to get enemies up on this hill around here. And while these are sort of out of range, if you build
Construction completed.
in this region, which you may well end up having to do, they will get shot at from these hills. But it's going to come down here.
Unit under attack. Unit under attack.
Of course, with all my confidence that, oh yes, we're all right, we've got loads of time. Yeah, we do.
Construction completed.
I normally, there was a time before they tweaked the game where I would simply wait around until the full hour was up. So we'll just go polish this lot off.
Unit under attack.
Hey, you, come back here. Yeah, you can go back to repair. Once they've been sent off,
Eradicated.
they just keep on going even if they're repaired. So this, as you can see, is we're now heading into the final section. One more base.
Unit under attack.
And in fact, actually, it's probably...
Unit under attack.
yeah, it doesn't do any harm. Let's move them over here so that... yeah. And we'll do something I don't normally do. Yep, guard position, hold position, nope, pursue. I thought there was a patrol option. Do you know what? I'm not quite sure what except retreating units does. So, let's now finish off what we're doing here. This is excessive at this point. But, you know, I like to get things done like that. So this is about as much as we can do for now. Here, we definitely want to start doing some serious building. And we will build right across.
Unit under attack. Construction completed.
Yeah, these are going to get fairly regular attacks coming from the base that's in this region. I need to check and make sure that I don't have any more research to do. And like I say, this is a sort of a template, because later on we will replace these with solid walls. These will get replaced with more robust units, but for now this is, you know, to give you some idea. You do want room to move around in here so that the truck can actually move and fix things, and this can come and fix the truck. As we can see, we have our wall here, and why 2 of those are here, I have no idea.
Construction completed.
But we'll start putting in our defensive structures.
Unit under attack.
Oh, that's interesting. Didn't know it did that. Did I?
Unit under attack.
Ah, okay. I didn't realise. I thought it would block that. I'll remove it in a second. Don't worry about what's going on with the other end of the map. You're not going to get anything at this point that's going to destroy anything.
Construction completed.
Right. Let's just remove this because... Oh, hang on. Let's build our tank trap in there. You don't really need this completely blocked off, to be honest, but it gives you some mental feeling for this is where the threat's coming from.
Unit
And so
under
we will
attack.
now build in... Yeah, let's stick
Unit under attack.
some flamer units in.
Unit under attack.
You are going to want to remove some of these at the end, and you're going to want space to deal with the pathfinding of your various units, because they will get, if they don't have enough space to move around, things can get slowed down and they'll get in each other's way, that kind of thing. So, okay, we can send those back up to where the battle's actually happening. Is up here.
Construction completed.
Some of the battles that you encounter do get quite exciting. This is nothing.
Construction completed. Unit under attack.
There's some missions you undertake later. It's almost like a nightmare having to go through small areas pretty much under constant fire the entire time. So, one thing I had almost forgotten was we need to build some defenses here. I typically use machine guns, and you want to stick them, in my experience, in places like this. They need to be able to shoot up into the hills, because that's where your enemy is going to be approaching from. So sticking them there, yeah. The enemy will actually come up and around and around and around
Construction completed.
and around. So having means to shoot them at every step along the way is probably a good idea. And I'm just going to stick a couple more machine guns in here. So we'll stick one there, and we'll stick one here. And I've deliberately left this open so that when I remove this,
Unit
I've
under
got
attack.
hopefully sufficient space for the various units to come streaming through.
Unit
But for
under
now,
attack.
that should be good enough. What have we got over here? That's good, that's good, that's good. These are building,
Construction
that's
completed.
built, and yeah, you can see the angles. So you can actually take a look and say, oh yes, that would be a good place to shoot from. So we will build another tower there.
Construction completed.
Later on, when you have things like counter battery fire and long range artillery and radar direction, and mortars,
Unit under attack.
things get a little bit more exciting than this.
Construction completed. Unit under attack.
Oh, that one got damaged. I thought they were self-repairing. Alright. You two are going straight back. Yeah. These are now somewhat vulnerable because they don't have their standard repair units. And we're almost done over here. Yeah, go there. Thank you. And again, don't worry about the time. we've actually pretty much got all the construction I intend to do for now done, with the exception of that region over here. And we haven't lost any units, which is not really that surprising.
Unit under
I wish
attack.
there was a way for them to,
Unit under attack.
sort of return to the battle automatically, but I must admit, just thinking about it briefly, I'm not sure how you'd implement it. So first thing this is probably going to do is realize there's stuff that needs repairing. Or maybe not. Oh yeah, there we go. I thought they were self-repairing, to be honest with you. But maybe it had to get underway because it was damaged and didn't... I don't know. So, that will sort us out for the next event, which I won't be doing today, but I do want another repair turret Viper wheels, which will be assigned to this one. It's just my standard practice. You know, it's like standing orders. If you have a truck that's going to be isolated, make sure it can be repaired. And these, by the way, they dramatically evolve over time to half tracks, full tracks, big, not, you know, the cannon get bigger, everything gets much larger and more impressive. I think my memory says you even get hover tanks at some point, and I think you can get aircraft, but it's been so long since I finished the Alpha campaign, and we're talking over 20 years, that I've forgotten a lot of it. But some of the basics I do seem to recall.
Completed.
So we got that there, that there, and are we missing any other little nooks and crannies? No, we're not. Probably want to put a few more trucks in, but there is a truck building limit, and I don't remember what it is. There are limits on all of these, and I never remember, so... And I am going to... Did I? Yes, I did. So we'll put this sort of over there so that it can be directed to repair the trucks. Because the trucks will come under attack as they're repairing these. So having a repair unit with them, probably a good idea. I wish there was a way to actually assign truck to it, but there isn't. No. No, there isn't. You see. I don't normally bother having the trucks retreats because you typically want them in place repairing as much as possible. And we've almost done here. I'll send up another truck to start doing some building over here.
Completed. Unit under attack.
So let's get these moving. Now we do not want to end the game just yet, because there's a item to pick up. Come on. Shoot that up. Oh no, we want to shoot the flamer towers. So they can do a lot of damage, and
Objective accomplished.
and that's the reason you've got to be so careful. So now I have to... The thing is, I didn't really finish building what I wanted to build, but this is the reason I should have been more careful, because the moment you pick up that last artifact, you end the mission, at least on this one. I'm trying to think if there's anything I'm really missing there. The simple answer is no. Ideally, I would have liked to leave that artifact where it was, and then send the majority of those forces right down to the other end. But in truth, doesn't make a huge difference at this stage in the game. But I'm not going to continue it. You're just going to have to come back next time and see what I do then. So, thanks everybody for watching. There's not going to be a particular schedule for this. You're simply going to have to subscribe, click on the bell and get notifications, which I thoroughly encourage. Thanks very much for watching, and I will see you all next time. Oh, yes, and my scheduled morning live stream will be in an hour and a half when I will be streaming The Long Dark, which I have been running since, what, last October? Something like that. It's been a while. And this next episode is interesting. I say interesting. Could be interesting, although yesterday's was interesting. Let's see what you're missing. Anyway, if you don't return for the morning live stream in an hour and a half, I hope you have a great day. And if you do, I will see you then. Ciao.